Good morning. My name is Gregory Papanikos. I am the president of this, what we call World Association of Academics and Researchers. I'd like to welcome you all to Athens. The weather is going to snow tomorrow and today, and it's very cold, and most probably we'll have a civil war for the first 2 days. The next days they are okay, so please stay inside the hotel room and follow the sessions. We don't bear any responsibility if you get out during the first 2 days. The third day will be different. Anyway, now what I'm going to spend a few minutes explaining for the benefit of those that they are here for the first time, and for the benefit of those that they are here for the 10th time, but they don't listen to me, they don't learn. Repetition is the mother of knowledge. I'm translating a Greek proverb. And I'll ask a few questions at the end if you understood what I said. Okay, so let's start with our mission. The idea goes back 30 years ago, 1985, when some professors, academics, that they wanted to come to Athens, but nothing went on at that time, and they wanted to write off expenses. So you can see the high spirit of the beginning. So people say, why don't you do something so we can have an association, so we can come and visit Athens. That was the prime motivation, to tell you the truth. Apart from that, this is not, doesn't violate the other most important mission that we have, is to make Athens a place where people can come from all over the world and exchange ideas about their discipline in general. So we started in Canada, and took us many, many years before we organized our first event. But we want to do something different. So what we did, we went back 2,500 years, and we copy-paste a model that is called symposium. The word symposium, which means drinking together, actually there is another Greek word which is, I should say, how I can translate it, is dinner, having dinner together, synvipno. And of course, since they drink, they prefer not the food, but the drink. That's why the symposium came to become an international language. So, in any case, this is Pericles. It's like Trump today. He was lying consistently. He was using fake news. You will see all these people here under the Parthenon Hill. And we know about him from two sources. One is Thucydides, and he wrote that beauty about the Peloponnesian War. And actually a very small event in world history, but because Thucydides wrote about it, it became well known. And of course, we have there the definition of democracy. So this is the guy, Pericles, but he said something that is true. Our seat is open to the world. We never explain a foreign from learning or seeing. Actually, this quotation was against Sparta. Because in Sparta, if you were a foreigner, they kicked you out. So in Athens, it was open, the city. This is the reason why, and it was true. Now, so what we try to do is to copy-paste that model. The model says, let's use Plato's idea and let's use Aristotle's idea, so people from all over the world, like in ancient Athens, they can come and discuss one general issue. For example, this week, we have people coming from 33 different countries, about 150 participants. So you will see, overall, over the year, we have more than 100 countries coming to our conferences. So that was our first mission, if you want, to bring people from all over the world. So we have achieved that. Let's see how we do that. Look at this one. So what I did, because that's my work now, what I did is I copy-paste a model that used in Plato's symposium. The subject was Eros, of course. There were 7, 8 speakers, depends how you count them, and I timed it. So the first speaker in the symposium spoke for 5 minutes. The second, 11 minutes. The third, 11:36 minutes. 11:55 minutes. 8:13. 12, 18. Only here Diotima, which is a dialogue between Socrates and Diotima, spoke for 31 minutes, but if you divide by 2, it's 15 minutes. So what we did, we say to you that you should not talk more than 15 minutes. And a lot of people are complaining, and I say, I want to talk more. Who are you that you want to talk more? Socrates talked for 15 minutes. And you want to talk more than Socrates. And the room is called Socrates, I think, here. So, I mean, you have to be humble. 15 minutes is too much. Look at this guy. 5 minutes only. He had Socrates in front of him. Now we don't have Socrates, but still 5 minutes. He made a very good presentation. So it's not a matter of time, it is a matter of what you have to say. Now, by the way, we are here. This is downtown, this is the downtown of Athens. It's the worst area of Athens. It's dirty, noisy, whatever you can find. In ancient times it was like that as well. So don't expect to find these high spirits, because a lot of people come here and think they will find an ideal society. Even in 2,500 years ago, there was no ideal society. It was dirty, dusty, crime, whatever you can. We have today, we had 2,500 years, and still we have it today. So the area is very bad, where the Italian hotel is. But look, if you go 800 meters down, it's 15 minutes walk, you will find a place, it's called Athens Street, where the ancient symposium took place. Or so I claim. Okay? And if you want, you can dispute it and find an alternative. This is a small street, it's called Athens Street. Athens was a well-known, at that time, today very few people know about him, because he wrote a lot of plays, but nothing has survived. And this is the reason we don't know him. But he got first prize, and to party and commemorate that, the next day, he organized the symposium. Of course, the reason that the subject was Eros, you can read it why. So we are very close to the area that the ancient symposium took place. Now, some facts and I'll finish. We have so far 2,500 members. We are growing every year. So you are more than welcome to join us, pending that you like what we are doing. It's very difficult to change. You should read our mission, our policy. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult to change something to accommodate your own needs. So you have to see what we are doing, and if you like, you can join us. Now, we are organized in units, divisions, and centers. We have 6,000 people. Their names appear on our website. We're not a Mickey Mouse, by the way. So we're not artificial organization. All the names appear on the website. Otherwise, if you don't want your name to appear, we don't want you as a member. So you're not secret here. So, of course, if you don't want your CV, we don't upload it. But your name will appear. Every year we have more than 2,000 researchers present at our events. And in total, since '95, we had more than 20,000 people coming here and present their work. Some people, unfortunately, we have many people that come again and again and again. Usually those people that they criticize us, they come again and again and again. Those that they don't criticize for obvious reasons, they don't come. So when they say someone, it's very good, it's excellent what you are doing, I say to myself, oh, he's not going to come again. So those that they come and say, you know, what you are doing is wrong, you should change it, you should do this. This guy has a real interest. So I say, oh, he's going to come again. So this is the idea. So don't come and tell me that is excellent what you are doing. Not even perfect. Okay, not even very good. You can say what you are doing is the worst conference that I ever attended for this and this reason. That's how we improve. I have many jokes to say about that now, but I don't have the time. By the way, we organize some courses with some universities, but that's not our primary objective. Some funding, again, external, of course. We support research, and this explains why we are calling ourselves an institute and not association. Again, the motives are very low, and people in Toronto, actually, they say, if you call yourself an association, then we cannot come and do research and sabbatical. But if you call yourself an institute, then we can go to the dean and say to him falsely, of course, that this is a great institute, one of the best in the world, so I want to go and do my sabbatical in Athens. This is the reason. Now, by the way, I mean, I'm cynical, but the Institute of Education of the University of London calls us one of the leading institutes in Athens, because we did a project together for 4 years. They are not lying. They don't say the full truth. We're a leading institute in Greece because there is no second. So there is nobody else doing the same thing. So we are the worst and the best at the same time, because we're the only one. So they are not technically, they are not lying. You know how the Anglo-Saxons they are. I mean, they have their own way of saying things that looks very true, but they're not lying, in other words. Since I'm saying about Anglo-Saxons, let me say something else that is very important. In the beginning, we were thinking that the language of this conference would be ancient Greek. So can you imagine to bring you here and force you to speak in ancient Greek? And of course, there were some people, the technical problem was the biggest one. Say, very few people know and speak ancient Greek. Most of them, they will say, that's so Greek to me, ancient or new. So they don't understand. So we settled for English as a second best. Now, some people think because we have chosen English, that this is a superior language. 50% of the words are coming from the Greek language, by the way. So it's a language that they borrow things. But the English language is because a lot of people speak English. A lot of people understand. So we don't, accept, if you want. And we don't want to relate with any cultural, social, political, whatever connotations might be implied by the use of English language. Now, having said that, I should say that some people think that English is the only language in the world. There are no other languages. Those that they speak English, of course. And they think that everybody should have English as the mother tongue. And you can tell that when they ask questions and they find some miserable PhD student that he or she struggles with her English to say a few words, and they start bombarding him or her with questions that they use adjectives that even themselves do not understand. I don't know why, when you ask someone that doesn't speak English very well, you can see, you use the 19th, 18th century Shakespeare, whatever that English. Even themselves, you can say, what do you mean by this adjective? They don't know. So now coming to the accent, it's like the old ancient Greek. Nobody knows how it was pronounced. So the best accent in the room is my accent. Now, if you cannot imitate, at least you can try. And so please, don't speak with your British, Scottish, South American, English, South United States actually, accent or New York, because nobody understands. That's not English. So you have to adjust your accent to my accent so people can understand you. This is important for those that they want to get their message across, because otherwise nobody will understand. Simple words, slow if you are English speaking, and look at the audience's eyes if they understand you. Okay? If they look around, that means that they don't understand. Now, a good study program that we do with Georgia State University's education in Greece, the impact of historical and cultural content. We have this course actually for their students. And of course, if you want to bring students, we can help. What we do as publications, I'm going a little bit fast. First, we have 5 publications. In the beginning, we didn't want to publish anything. But people will say, if you don't publish, we don't get money to come to the conference. Again, high spirit, high motivation. And the first thing that we do is abstract books. After 4 days of the conference, we publish an abstract book. We upload it. Now, the reason that we publish even the program after the conference is because we don't organize Mickey Mouse conferences. If you don't present, tomorrow you will not appear in the program. So please make sure even if you are here. So people that present, they appear in the program and in the abstract. I don't know, some universities, they count this as a publication. It's a joke, of course. The abstract book is based just to form the program, nothing else. If I say, for example, I discovered this and this and this in my abstract book, I mean, nobody will take me serious. But it will appear as an abstract. Atiner's conference presentation series. This is important for one reason. We receive a lot of demands from other people that they don't come to the conference to see what you said. And we were in trouble. So if you want, you can upload your presentation. If it's a paper, even better. So this is the reason. It has an ISSN number, or I don't know, an ISSN, but it's not reviewed. This one. The third one, online paper series. This is reviewed. Books, they are reviewed. E-journals, we started in 2014, I think, and now we publish 15 e-journals. The 15 e-journals has created for us a lot of work, and it's a pain in the neck, and does not remain only there, goes down to my body. Now, e-journals means we have to find a way of reviewing. All our e-journals are peer reviewed. We don't charge anything for our journals. It's fake news when people say that we charge. We're not even charging. There was a very good journal just last week that they asked for collaboration. And we said we don't collaborate with journals that they charge money. Now let me say, what do we mean by charging? No submission fee, no publication fee, no processing fee, no editing fee. All these are the tricks of the business they do. No open access fee for the author, no open access fee for the reader, and finally, no transfer of property rights. This is a true free journal, if you understand what I mean, and most of you understand. So our journals are free. The reason they are free is because nobody is paid. The editors, they work without money. They get money from their institute. The reviewers, without money. Everybody works on voluntary basis. So maybe you like it, maybe you don't like the journals, but that's what they are. Slowly, slowly, we build good journals. For example, the Athens Journal of Education now, after being reviewed for 1 year from the Education Research Information Center, supported by the US government, lists our journals. We don't apply to be listed with private publishing companies, whatever that means, only with public. Slowly, slowly, I think, and with your help, we can build a very good journal. Now, do I have anything to say? Get involved. I think I want to say something about the journal. Yeah, that's what I would say. The journals, you see, I'm a Japanese cook. I don't prepare. I just sometimes I forgot to say a few things, but in any case, they are available on our website. Now about the e-journals. This year we started, I think, I don't want to say it's unique, but it's different approach of reviewing. Apart from the editors and the blind reviewers that we have opened up the reviewing process. If you go to the website, we call the word community to comment on any paper that passes the first step of originality and editing. So you can go in and say, okay, I can review this paper. I can give you my comments for this paper. So it's open, it's transparent. The copy is anonymous, you don't know the author. I tested for myself this before I applied, late last year. I had a paper and I uploaded and I promote a little bit so people can come and review it. You know how many comments I got back? 50. 50. Now we slow the process because a lot of people, they want to comment and we stop it. If it goes more than, let's say, double digits, we say this paper now is full because we don't want to have 50 comments. All of them, they were excellent comments. 35% said accepted, 25% throw to the garbage, and the others between minor and major. But I got a feeling, what is the review process? Please do not reject papers, now general comment, because the methodology, which is well accepted in the world community, you don't like it. A lot of people reject papers because they don't like the methodology, but the methodology is accepted by the world community. So it's awkward. I don't like it. I know in economics, because I'm an economist, say I don't like neoclassical economics, I like Marxian economics. Whatever is written with another non-Marxian methodology is garbage. It's not scientific. Okay? Methodology, if it's applied okay, then it should be accepted. Now get involved. Become a member, organize something, review as I said, organize a course, suggest something else pending that we have the money. Now, paper presentation, that will be the last. I think I have a few minutes. Now,
Yes.
there is a way of organizing that plead to the chairs to follow the rules. Most chairs do not follow the rules, I should admit. First of all, chairs, they are administrators. They don't comment on the paper. They keep their mouth shut, in other words. So the only time, at the end of the session, they don't ask questions. Very few follow it, but anyway, I have to say, the reason is who is going to chair the chair? Let's suppose that the chair fights with someone else. Who is going to chair the fight? Fight in quotation marks. So it's not good the chair to get involved with questions and comments. It's better to leave after the session. Second, please don't ask questions because you think you serve the speaker something, you are polite by asking questions for each paper presented. I know some presenters, because of the language problem, they don't want any question to be asked. They trouble. So if you really want to contribute to the discussion, go outside, approach the presenter, and very slowly explain to him and her your thoughts. Otherwise, you are showing off. Okay? It's better, much better, to continue the discussion during lunch and dinner rather than inside the room when you see that someone has some troubles in explaining his work in English. Please, this is very important. That's why we have the questions at the end. If you have it after the paper, somehow the audience thinks that they must ask a question. Okay? It's psychology. Now, the chair, I already mentioned the 15 minutes. If you think that the problem of chairing is a new one, look, Protagoras. This is from Plato's Protagoras. Socrates is complaining because Protagoras talks forever. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. So Socrates, that he was not talking forever, he says, stop. We should do something about that. That's in Plato's Protagoras. I'm translating from ancient Greek. We should elect a judge. Ravdouchos, I translated. Ravdouchos actually is someone with a stick. So if you go over the time, he comes and beats you. That's what Ravdouchos means. He has a stick. Or a four-person, or a chair-person, called Britain. So, just follow this. You keep the length of each one's speech short, less than 15 minutes. That's what it said. So it's an old problem. So feel that if you violate this rule, you don't do anything new. Just a few blocks from here, 2,500 years, there were many like you, sophists they call them, that they violated the rules. So now we have some additional pedagogical events, we call it. I don't want to promote this. Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference. And David has the floor for whatever time is left.
Hello, I'm David Wick, the director of the Arts Humanities Education Division. I'm one of the people who's not supposed to mimic Professor Papanikos. We don't get paid, but if we mimic him, he actually docks our pay. I just wanted to add a couple of comments, and if you were here for the engineering conference, you might wonder why am I being addressed by someone from the humanities. But it's because the idea of Atiner is to promote conversation. So there's a great deal of engineering and infrastructure and the arts and humanities and archaeology and history that we do. There's also a great deal of conversation behind the idea of how we want these presentation sessions to go. And so I'm just going to ask for a couple of, fine-tune a couple of requests I'd like to make of the people who are chairing the sessions. Just trying to clarify Professor Papanikos' remarks. This especially, I think, is true for the history conference. Chairs, please do use the 3 and 1 minute signs to show people that they're getting close to the end of their presentation. When you're presenting, of course, it's important to have an exit strategy to finish your idea well when you have 3 minutes and 1 minute to go. And if you are coming early in the session, you're being polite to the people behind you. If you don't want questions and you're presenting in a session, please let the chair know ahead of time. Otherwise, it is part of the job of the chair, not just to leave some time for questions at the end, but I'd like to ask you to try and make sure that unless a person doesn't want questions, that you solicit a question for each of the presenters before everyone resolves into asking nothing but questions of the last presenter, or the one that did the most famous topic. You've all worked very hard to come up with the ideas, the insights, the articulation, many of you not in a first language, to make your presentation. So it's incumbent on the chairs, I think, to give everyone a chance for at least a question, so that when, even if we only get one question for each presenter, when we go out and continue our conversations over the refreshments, everyone has a chance to be a part of the conversation, because all of you have worked very hard to bring those ideas and conversation here. So thank you for coming to what is, as you can tell, not, we got people for 2 conferences here, not a gigantic collection, but the idea behind Atiner is to do conferences the way Romans designed cities. So I can include the engineers in that. Romans did not design cities for ever-increasing populations. You designed an infrastructure and a set of public places for a certain size community. And when a city grew to a particular size, you didn't keep adding things to make that infrastructure or community space larger. You built another city. We get to a certain size that makes a conversation awkward, we create another conference. We try for this size. We are looking for conversation between all of you and all of us. So thank you very much for coming. We're going to move history to the 2 rooms down there. I think engineering stays here. And please enjoy your time here in the city of Athens.